The next speaker is someone I'm very curious to listen to. He's been doing his startup since 2006. They've raised more than $200 million, and they're one of the leaders in their industry, if not the leader in their industry. Essentially, they're going to talk about revitalizing or changing the industry, and more specifically about taking or going against giants, the old school people and the giants that are already there. So I'm going to try my French and see how my French goes. So please give a big round of applause to Renaud Visage. There we go, CTO, co-founder of Eventbrite.
Hola, Madrid. It's been a while. I used to live here, actually, 20 years ago, and I had not been back since. So big thank you to the organizers for inviting me to speak here. And over the next 20 minutes, I'm going to talk about how industries are being completely revamped, transformed by the democratization process that started with the internet revolution. I think a lot of things that I'm going to talk about are well known, but I feel that the democratization process is accelerating and will create brand new companies, and I hope some of you in the room will be the ones leading these advances in technology. If you look at the tech headlines all around the world, probably 1 out of 2 startups that's getting launched is about democratizing something. So what does democratizing mean, actually? Let's go back to the definition. I actually learned that it came from a French word that started after the French Revolution in the late 18th century. And basically, it means making something accessible to everyone. What a basic concept, but a very powerful concept when put in the hands of capable people. Let's look at a couple of the hot, trendy startups of today. Uber, for example, probably the most valued private company in the world today with a $50 billion valuation. It didn't exist 6 years ago. What does it offer? It offers the ability for anyone to order transportation, but also it offers the ability to everyone to become a driver, thanks to simple technologies like geolocation, your mobile phone, and mobile payments. So 3 key elements creating an offering that's completely changing the face of urban transportation today. Second most valuable private company out there today, Airbnb. What do? Very simple, capitalize on unused inventory that you had in your home and enabling everyone to become a hotelier, even if it's just for a few days here and there, and connecting these people with the people who need accommodations. Again, a very simple concept, but taken to an extreme level and a global level very quickly by talented teams. And then you have Eventbrite. Here is a picture of Jenny and Matt. They're the organizer of, I forgot, it's Wednesday. It's a supper table at their home every week on Wednesday. They invite 8 to 10 people. They prepare and serve them a 5-course dinner paired with excellent cocktails. And they give every attention to deep conversation and connections to the 10 participants. They started a couple of years ago, and now they're expanding the concept into other cities. And this is why we started Eventbrite in the first place. It's to enable these connections offline that we've been striving for. And enabling people like Jenny and Matt to transform their passion into a real business, a business that they enjoy, something that they like to do, and something that can transform their lives. We have thousands and thousands of examples like this since we started the company. We started the company to bring the world together through live experiences. Events like today are a great example of the need to gather with peers, with people interested in the same subject. And that's why we decided to start the company. And in the process, we've made event organizing available to everyone. So on our platform, you have very large organizers who sell millions of tickets every year, and also the tiny ones that the individuals, the Jenny and Matt, who didn't really know that they wanted to start an event business, but thanks to our platform, were able to do so. Let's go back to why we started Eventbrite and the lessons that we took from this experience. And I think those are very critical to creating the next democratization companies or business processes that will change the landscape in the future. The genesis for Eventbrite was a combination of three colossal shifts in the landscape, not just the tech landscape, but the way we live. In 2006, when we launched, three things came together at the exact right point for us. The first one was the need to connect in real life. That sounds contradictory with the trend at the time of everything going online. But as you can attest from being here today, and as studies have shown that, for example, millennials, the 18 to 35 age range, values the live experiences much more than things. 3/4 of them actually would rather go to an event, enjoy themselves, than buy a car or a house. The second trend was the emergence of peer-to-peer payments. PayPal was the leader at the time. And with just an email address, you were able to send money to someone. We thought we could use that to enable payments directly to the event organizers. Before us, they had to wait 7 days, a month after the event to get paid. With our solution, they could get the ticket sales directly into their PayPal account. This was groundbreaking for them at the time. And also the internet pushed the do-it-yourself generation. I think we all want to do things, to have control, to find ways to use our creativity to put things together. And the companies that best leverage this DIY spirit benefit tremendously from offering the tools, self-service tools that you can access anytime, that allow you to use your creativity, your ingenuity to come up with different business models, to different experiences online and offline. But it didn't stop there. We continuously look at the technological landscape. Facebook Connect came right on time 2 years after we launched to bring another layer of integration that we didn't have before, a new way to share that you were attending events and to enroll your friends and family to come with you to this event that you were going to attend. We were one of the first companies to integrate with Facebook Connect, and that had a tremendous impact on our business. Facebook, within a year or two, became the #1 source of traffic for us. And to this day, it's one of our major channels to acquire new attendees. And then the mobile phone came along. Now, everybody had something in their pocket that could be used to both organize events. That was the first application we did, giving you the ability to scan barcode tickets at the entrance. And also for you attendees that wanted to discover events, find new stuff to do, and have a place for your tickets instead of printing them out. All of this led to a tremendous growth, nothing like we anticipated. We couldn't really predict the future. We had a hunch that all these elements combined together could create a great platform and really transform the event industry. Before us, these technologies were only available for very large stadiums, for the big concerts, for the big event venues. We brought it to a different level and made it accessible to everyone. Last year alone, we had 1.7 million events on the platform. So arguably, now we've become one of the giants in the industry. And let me be clear, maybe I'll disappoint some of you, but we never set out to disrupt the giants. We envisioned that our space would be the long tail of events, the small and medium-sized event organizers that had no solution to power their events. We are starting to compete more and more with the larger companies out there, but it's never been our ambition to replace the leaders at the time of this phase. So what does it mean for us? We now have 500 employees across 8 different offices in 7 different countries. How do we keep the momentum going? How do we keep innovating? How do we stay ahead? That's a much bigger challenge than people might think. There's a lot of burden having technical debt, for example, systems that were written 10 years ago and that might not be up to speed, up to snuff anymore. We have a lot of users. We can just change things like that without notice or without making sure they're going to be happy with the new stuff we bring. So how do we keep that momentum going and innovation internally? I think these are valuable things to learn as you yourselves are working in big corporations that are trying to be more innovative, or startups that are starting to get a lot of traction and need to keep the momentum going. So our best investment was probably in 2008 when we decided to launch our first API. Over the next few years, we built that API to become a fully functional platform. And in doing so, we enable ourselves to be positioned in the center of the nervous system for the event organizer. We are their most critical data. We are the information about their attendees. And by building those APIs and connecting with all these different partners out there, we were able to expand the types of services we can offer to our users. These are a few of the things that we never developed ourselves. They were brought on by our partners, integrating with our APIs, and now we can offer all these different services that were not available and we had no intentions of building. It's, as you can attest, if you've ever organized an event, it's not a simple matter. You have production, you need to manage the attendance, the location, the venue, the caterer, sell tickets, promote online, offline. There's a multitude of things that event organizers have to deal with. And by being this central point where everything is connected, we are so much more valuable to our organizers. And one thing we do very well is to question ourselves all the time, maybe a bit to an extreme. We try to plan for a full year, but oftentimes we change course in the middle just because the technology is changing so fast, people's expectations are changing so fast. We try to remain as agile as we can with both our plans and with our execution. And this is a very hard thing to do when you have 500 people on board, all contributing to a goal. Redefining the goal every few months requires a lot of communication internally, externally, to get everybody on board and convinced that it's the right thing to do. We also created a welcoming environment for any ideas. I know you all probably want that for your own companies. You probably try to establish programs to foster innovation in-house. And we've tried to do it in a way that makes it the responsibility of everyone in the company, not just R&D. People who are in contact with the users should have some input into what we build for them. People who go in the field every day to check people at the door, for example, or install complex systems to track registrations. How do you collect all this information, all this collective knowledge, collective creativity that is within your employees and leverage that into product features that you can launch? That's not easy to put in place, and we've experimented a lot with that. The best ideas often end up being tested in a hackathon where we deploy very quickly a mock-up of what it could look like, and we take it to the next level and have our users test it. This is our design team, for example, watching live as customers are interacting with mock-ups that we've produced for a new feature. They're learning a lot by just looking at how people interact with the product, with the things. Is it clear? Does it make sense? Is it something they want? All these questions you have to ask before you even start creating the actual feature. And finally, we this is a more recent development, but over the last 2 or 3 years, we've really pushed the experimentation angle. I know it's common for startups. The lean startup model pushes that to the greatest extent, and I think this is going to be the way any business should be run from now on. Larger corporations, mid-sized corporations like ours, and small startups need to test things before they're fully built out. The investment that developing features involves is so large nowadays, especially with the multiplicity of platforms that you have at our disposal, that you need that experimentation platform to be very fine-tuned to allow you to really test the interest that your development might have for your current user base before you roll it out. I think the main lesson, and something I think everyone should try once in a while, is to go back to your inner child. Forget all you know about the industry. Start from a blank slate and look around, like see what's available to you today. How can you combine all these different hot topics that are emerging that you know will have a significant impact on your business or the business you would like to be in? And try to think of creative ways to make the impossible possible, like this kid flying. The danger is everywhere. If you're not going to get disrupted by someone soon, it's only a matter of time. And if you don't take it upon yourself to come up with your vision for your future, someone else will, and that will be too late for you. Thank you.